Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode here on Talk Daily. Hopefully, you have a great day wherever you are in the world, and let's dig into this story. It's a very interesting story. It's an interesting read. It comes from Car and Driving. It's written by Sebastian Blanco, and it's basically saying test shows physical buttons are less time consuming in cars than touch screens, and it's backed up by a study by series of tests a Swedish car company performed, and that's what Car and Driving are getting their sources from. I have a link to that article in the description below. Also, it's by a car magazine called Bilägare. Anyway, that's the name of it. I have a link to it, so you could read it. As far as the whole study, it's an interesting read, but the point is, it's saying that if you have buttons, you can perform tasks quicker than if you have an infotainment touch screen. So what are the four articles? And I'll show you. That's basically, they had four tasks to do. The first task was to turn on the heated seat, increase the temperature by 2 degrees. The second task, turn on the radio and tune it to a specific station. The third task, reset the trip computer. And fourth and final task, turn the instrument light to their lowest settings and turn off center display. For a car that had basic buttons like this, it took them 10 seconds. For a car that had a display like this, a modern display, it took them 30 seconds. Some of them even went to 40 seconds. And the reason why? I personally think the driver or the test subject or whoever was in the car, they're not familiar with it. If you are familiar with your car, it should take a little bit. To me, 30 seconds seems like a very long time to do this. Now, I wasn't in it, but I kind of agreed it's going to take longer than just having a button. Having a button, your eye already knows what to look for and where to reach and just complete the task right there. And now, let me know what you think. I mean, because I also had the Tesla Model 3 was in there, the BMW iX was in there. They had different vehicles in there they were testing. And the old car they were using was a Volvo V70, a 17-year-old Volvo V70. And they're saying that the Volvo was faster. The V70 was faster to completing those tasks. And they're also discussing how long it took for you to do it. And remember, they were doing this at a speed, I believe they were doing like 68 miles an hour while you're doing these tasks. So obviously that exaggerate the distance, right? You know, the more you're looking down, the more distance you're covering without paying attention to the road. And here's the BMW iX and the Tesla Model 3. If you are familiar with your vehicle, that should take less time. That is just my opinion. You should be able to reduce that time to a certain amount. Of course, it's still going to be movement that you got to do where you're touching the screen and going to menu and selecting that. So no matter how quick you are, it's still going to physically takes time to do that. So it's kind of interesting. One of the cars that did the worst in their study, it took like almost 45 seconds, was an MG Model R. We don't have that car here in the state, but if you have it, let us know what you think. Do you think the sub-menu is very complicated? It's actually a thing. I don't know if you ever had the chance to watch like car shows and whatnot, like Top Gear and whatnot, and they also were talking, they always make fun of it, right? You know, menu, sub-menu, etc. I don't know. I personally think if you're familiar with it, you should be able to do it quite fast. If you're not familiar with it, it will take longer. Same thing with a car like this. I mean, there's some cars are very complicated, like the layout. But again, because everything's in front of you, you just kind of look at those international symbols and you just recognize that symbol means this, and I press it, it will do it. It's just locating it. But there you go. It's a study and it's saying that the buttons are faster. Now, is car manufacturers gonna take a note of this and they're gonna go back to buttons? I don't think so, because buttons, they cost money. You know, making a button and putting it somewhere that takes space. I believe car companies are going to continue doing this because a lot of people are just growing up with this layout. They're going to get used to it eventually. I don't see anything wrong with it as long as you're familiar with it. You familiarize yourself with it. I don't think it's smart to discover things on the menu while you're driving 68 miles an hour. I think you should do that in when the vehicle is in a safe place, right? You know, just familiarize yourself with your car, you know, and then when you need to do something, the task should take a lot less time. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. It'll be very interesting. Does your car distract you when you're trying to perform tasks? Is it helpful? Is it quick. It doesn't take forever. I personally don't have any experience with those cars I mentioned. They're talking about BMW iX, Tesla Model 3. I've been in Tesla Model 3. I never really messed with the screen. But let us know what you think in the comments below. And as always, be safe out there, drive safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.